Hello everybody. In this video I'm going to teach you guys how to use and fully operate a Garmin Nuvi 2597LMT GPS. 2597LMT GPS. This is how it looks like, and I'm gonna show you guys how to use it and all its features and functionalities and good and bad things about it. So this is the GPS unit. I have a couple of these here so that I can show you front and back. So this is the back of the GPS, and this is how you plug in your mount. The mount is composed of two pieces. This is the suction cup, and this is the actual cradle that holds the GPS. And what you do is you plug in or insert the bottom first, like that. Let me put this away so you can see. Insert the bottom like this, and then snap the top like that. So now this is holding the GPS nice and neatly, and to release it you press this and pull. That's how you insert. And this, obviously you could separate these two if you want to, like that. Alright, so this is how you mount it. Now let's talk about the memory card. If you want to upgrade the memory, or if you want to add more maps, the memory card goes right here at the bottom of the GPS unit, and the pins will face the back and the writings the front. So this is how it's gonna go, like that. It's gonna go like that. One more time. Pins on the back, writings in the front. Like this. And usually you need the memory card if you have to, for example, add an additional map or a map of a different country. You need the memory card. Okay, now let's talk about the functionality of the GPS. First, when you turn on the GPS, you get the agreement screen, and then this is the first home page, or I should say, like in your computer you have the desktop. This is the primary window that you will get. From here, before you start navigation, you have to go to the settings and customize the GPS based on your specific needs. Everybody's needs are different. So that's why a GPS needs to be customized for that person. Okay, so map updates, you don't have to get it right now, but just the information. If you click on it, it tells you the instructions or where to get the map updates, and all the instructions are there. Map and vehicle. These are the preferences of maps and vehicles. So you click on it. You could change the vehicle icon. Click on here, and that's the default vehicle icon, and you could change it to a different one, like if you want a car or an arrow or shoes or a crow or ball, you name it, whatever you want you could choose. And then you have map view. Currently it's 3D view. You could which is like that. You could choose north, up, or track up. I like the 3D view. If you choose north up, always the map will show the north on the top of the screen, and south will be at the bottom, and east and west accordingly. The problem with that is that sometimes if you choose north up, and if you're headed south, your vehicle will be moving down the screen this way, which makes it really confusing when you're approaching a right turn or left turn, because you don't know if when you're actually turning right, the vehicle will go this way to the left because you're going south. That's why either use 3D or use track up, which is the direction you're going will be up. And this way, if you're turning right, it goes to the right. If you're turning left, it goes to the left. So the north up will be confusing for you. That's my advice. Do not choose north up, 3D or track up. I like 3D the best, so I'll keep it there. Okay, map detail. I don't like map detail to be normal. I want it to be as high or as much as I can to see more details. If you choose normal, you see lesser streets. If you choose more, you see more streets, more details. So it's always good to see more. Now, the disadvantage is that if you choose more and you're traveling on a freeway, you will have a lot of like distractions on the screen of side streets right next to the freeway, which you don't even care about. But if you leave it at less or at normal, then those streets will not even show up on your screen when you're on the freeway. So, but you know, I rather see those streets on the side for my personal preferences, so I could get the actual reality picture of where I'm at. For example, if there is a park, I rather see that park in the street leading to that park if I decide to take a break and exit from the freeway. That's the reason I like to have more. So we save that. Map theme. Theme is like the layout of the map, the colors. Like right now it's gray and white. If you choose a different one, these will change. This will be yellow and white, and France will be gray and white. Italy will be that color. So I like the Garmin default. It's always good to choose the default because you get to learn something in a standard way. And if you ever go to a rental car or another car with a Garmin GPS, you are used to it. You're used to standard. When you customize, then you're not learning the standard type. Okay, so let's go. Okay, map tools. Now these are the things that you can add, the shortcuts that you want to add. I will get to this later, but these are the current shortcuts that you can add when you're trying to see. Now, let me tell you exactly what this is. These shortcuts are. Let me cancel this, go back to the map. So, when you're showing the map, right here, when you click this, this little button will bring all those things that we chose there. So, see right here? So, right now we have 1, 2, 3 shortcuts. Traffic condition, volume, and up ahead, whether we have to go right, left, or whatever. That's the information ahead. Those are the shortcuts. Now, only 3 items, 1, 2, 3, or actually 4 because I don't have a route plan. The stop is grayed out, but if I did have a route plan, this would also be an active button. So now if I go back to the settings and to the maps and vehicles, and we go to map tools, and let's say add a detour. Let's see what else is more important. Trip data. Let's go to trip data. Let's say we want that. Save, go back. Now if you go to the map view and click this, you will also see your trip data. Trip data shows the following: arriving, moving average speed, moving time, trip mileage, how many miles, and all the data about your trip. So this will be showing your speed. This icon right here, speed, will show your speed and your trip A, trip B, average speed, moving average speed, maximum average speed, overall average, stopped time, how many minutes were you stopped, moving time, total time. You have more information, elevation, how many feet from the sea level. These are the things that will be given in that. Okay, now how do you get rid of this menu? You press that X button right there. That's how you get rid of it. Okay. Let's go back to settings, map and vehicles. So that's what the map shortcut, map tools, or actually these shortcuts that you want to have access to, and there are more of them to have access to. Now this is a voice command GPS, so volume, you don't need the volume because you could control the volume with your sound, with your voice. You don't even need a shortcut for volume. Same thing with brightness. You can control it with your voice. So I'm going to get to the voice command later, but let's talk about these things first. Okay, so we know all of that. And every menu in this Garmin, it's such a nicely designed unit. very nicely designed, because every menu, if you do some changes to this menu and you forget what you did and you want to go back to the factory settings, the original settings, it's very simple. You go here and you click restore. This is true with every menu. Like if I go to map updates, no, the map updates doesn't have settings. Maps and vehicles, you could restore to factory default. If you go to navigation, you could restore to factory default. Everything has restore to factory default in case you mess it up and you want to get back to where you were before. Okay, so set route preferences. This is the bread and butter of your navigation. It's very important to pay attention to this one, because this will determine everything you need to control in your route. For example, calculation mode is faster time. The calculation mode is how do you want your route to be calculated based on the following. Faster time takes you through the routes that are fastest, however it could be a longer distance. For example, it will avoid all the red lights and shortcuts and will take you to the freeway where the speed limit is much higher, and it will get you to your destination much faster, but you will be spending more gas, you will be having more mileage in your vehicle, not necessarily more gas, because the gas mileage drops in the freeways versus the city roads, but more mileage in your vehicle, however it gets you there faster. It's very good to have, but not on a rental car, because those rental cars for which you're paying by the mile, this will not be a good choice, because you will add up on the rental car mileage and they will charge you an arm and a leg for each additional mile. So you might as well choose shorter distance, but then again, the shorter distance will probably kill a lot of time because you will be stuck in red lights and burning fuel. So this is something that you need to play with. We see which one is best. I always like faster time versus the shorter distance. Now, less fuel. If you choose less fuel, the GPS will avoid routes that have elevation and change of elevation, either positive elevation or negative elevation, so the vehicle doesn't have to go uphill and downhill, because if you are going uphill and downhill, obviously you will burning more gas. For example, if you're going from point A to point B from a straight road is less fuel than if you're going through a mountainous road and increasing your elevation. Okay, off-road is obviously good if you have a vehicle that supports off-roading, and it might even take you there faster, but if not, then this is not a good idea, because you could get stuck somewhere. All right, so that was avoidance, very important. Custom avoidance, or avoidance that you want to add. For example, if you have an area that you are aware that area is under construction, or it's always busy, bad traffic, bad neighborhood, crime area, you can avoid that area, so the GPS will never take you through that area. For example, there's an area, there's a lot of gang activity, a lot of shootings and carjacking and whatnot. That's the area you want to avoid. Add custom avoidance. Now that's something you know. The GPS doesn't know the crime rate in different areas of the city, so you have to manually add that avoidance. Okay. Environmental zones you can allow or always ask, or don't allow. You could, areas that there's certain environmental restrictions, such as your vehicle must not have a lot of pollution if you're going through this area, this and that. So you have to know that in order to choose. Okay, restricted mode, where features will be disabled while moving. This is for drivers who are new, and basically this is like a safety feature, that when your vehicle is in motion, in order for your safety, the GPS will not allow you to enter certain information. For your safety, you have to pull over to a complete stop before you could enter something. This will happen only if you check this box. So right now, if this box is unchecked, I could be entering an address while the vehicle is in motion. Okay, GPS simulator is for indoor use only. If you want to punch in an address for indoor, also the GPS simulator will automatically kick in if the vehicle goes through a tunnel or underground road where the satellite signal is 0, then the simulator kicks in and it will estimate your vehicle speed based on the speed that you entered the tunnel, and it will estimate the time of you exiting the tunnel. So it's just estimation. It could be off by hundreds of feet or even miles. Okay. Maps in vehicles. This will tell you what kind of oh, we already did that, the map settings and whatnot. We already did that. Okay, so now let me tell you something else about maps and vehicles. If you want to see which map you have in this GPS, you have to go to first, okay, we did the map details more, map theme Garmin. Now map tools. If you go to map tools, these are the things that you could adjust. Select what tool you want on the map, which we did. Cancel. And then you could do map layers. You could have one layer for traffic, one layer for the places you're going, and one for the trip log where you have already been. So this will create confusion because you have map over the map. I don't like that. I do like the traffic in that one, so that's what I recommend. Otherwise, if you choose this one, then you have another layer over that map like this. Okay, it's not showing because there is no trip log on this yet. Anyways, so my maps, the maps that are installed. Now at this time that this video was shot, the latest map for North America was 2019.10. Now this is a lifetime. The GPS qualifies for a lifetime update. It can get all the updates for North America. But Europeans maps don't have lifetime updates. So this GPS is equipped with European maps because I travel to France and Germany often, so I had to buy that from Garmin. Now the map card from one GPS will not work on another Garmin GPS because the licensing is restricted to that one unit only, so that you know that. For example, if you take the chip out map card to put it in another Garmin, it's not going to work. The maps are locked. Okay, so that is the maps installed. The navigation preferences we already did. Actually, no, we haven't done the navigation preferences. Okay, navigation preferences or avoidance are very important to know because this is something that will determine which routes you can take and what cannot take. For example, if you have a big semi-truck, 18-wheeler, you cannot make a U-turn. You have to check that to avoid it. Check U-turns to avoid it. If you have a bicycle, you cannot go to highways with a bicycle. You're gonna get a ticket. So you have to avoid highways. You cannot go to highways. Okay? Toll roads. If you don't have a credit card or cash, you must avoid toll roads because it will charge you money every now and then. Now, toll roads are very handy in Europe. They cost an arm and a leg, but it will save you a lot of time. I was traveling in Italy, and believe me, toll roads saved me hours and hours of commute because it was like 12 or 13 euros, but it was worth it. Now, ferries are little ships that will carry cars, small. They are ferries. They're not boats or ships. They're ferries. So if your car is too big, like an RV or a bus, you have to avoid that because you cannot take a bus or an RV inside a ferry. And carpool lanes, if you're traveling alone, you must avoid this because you will get a ticket if you're a single person on a carpool lane. Unpaved roads, you must avoid if your vehicle is not equipped to go to dirt roads or off-road. So I have unchecked all the avoidance because my vehicle can go everywhere and I don't have a problem. So if you uncheck all the avoidance, you have better calculation mode because it will take you through the best and easiest route without avoiding anything. But you have to avoid if you're traveling alone. For example, carpool lanes. It's not a choice. You must avoid carpool lanes if you're all by yourself. Okay, so let's see what else. Restriction mode. We spoke about the maps and vehicles, GPS simulation for indoors, traffic. Everything looks good there. Okay. Display brightness. You don't have to do this. You could do it with your voice, but currently The display orientation is landscape. You can make it portrait, sideways, or you could make it landscape. So those are the orientations you can choose. And the colors right now are day. You could choose night colors like that. Everything goes dark. Or day colors. I like day color. Or you could choose automatic. It will change by itself. Brightness is at 52, but you can change it. Display timeout 2 minutes. I don't like display timeout. I want the display to be on all the time. So I'm going to save that. Never time out the display. I don't like that because you will be in the middle of your route and your screen goes dark. You don't want that. Okay, screenshot save as screen image. You can check that. If you do that, there will be a picture or an icon to click on it and will save the screenshot, which is pretty good to have. Okay, now units, time and date. These are the measuring unit of measurements. So you must set the device clock to the region you are, but if you choose automatic, it will automatically choose the region you're at. So that's good. Time is either 24-hour or 12 hours or UTC. Unit of measurements currently miles, but if you're going to Europe or any other country in the world, it has to be kilometers. In the US only, they use miles. Even the countries next to the United States like Mexico and Canada uses kilometers. So keep that in mind. And position format, let's see what that is. Coordinates, you want to enter the coordinates by hour, minute and seconds, degrees, minutes and seconds, or the other format, which is datum. So I like the unit. I like that one much better. So yeah, that's the default is the best. The default is the best. You don't want to change that. Actually restore that to the factory default. You don't want to mess with those. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Keyboard and voice language. Voice language, you have TTS. Every voice language that has a person's name, like this is American English Samantha, American English Michelle. These, if you look underneath, it says speaks Garmin real directions. That speaks the name of the roads. For example, it tells you turn right on Broadway. If it doesn't have a name underneath, like this British English, it doesn't tell you turn right on Broadway. It just tells you turn right. So TTS will have a name underneath it. Okay, and the speaker's name, like this is American English without the speaker name. It will not tell you the direct names of the streets. But this one with Michael, I think that's Michelle. Yeah, that one will tell you the street names. And so on, like all these. It's like this one, Garmin directions in Spanish. Speaks Garmin directions, French and Italian. Some languages are actually written in that language. For example, Portuguese, Brazilian is written in that language. So you don't know. For example, let me show you. Like this, I don't know what this means because this is not English alphabet. Or this, I don't know. This is Oriental languages. It's written in their own language. So these are the things you need to know to change your voice language. This is the text language. The text language is the language used for the menus, for like start and go and cancel, all those menus of this. Like cancel and save is in English, right? If you change that, even cancel and save will be in that language, Afrikaans. So you don't want to change that because then you get lost. You don't know how to bring it back. Keyboard language is the language you enter the addresses with. What did I do? Hold on a second. Okay. Keyboard language is the language that you use for the keyboard. For example, if I want to enter an address, that's the keyboard. Now, if I'm traveling to a country with a different language, I must change the keyboard language to their language because the alphabet may not exist in English alphabet for the street names. For example, a street name in Greek will be written in Greek language, or in Spanish if the street name is in Spanish and you need that N with a little accent on the top, you don't have that in English. So that's why you have to choose the correct keyboard language. Just keyboard language. That's not going to change that verbal, audio, voice language. Just the punching in the address will be in that particular language. Okay. Okay, all those we discussed. That's device information, which shows you, the device licensing and whatnot, and the traffic information and whatnot. So now main menu. This is their main menu. Right here you could see your volume control. Right here are the apps. Like traffic information is here. Right now we don't have any traffic traffics nowhere. No traffic problem, basically. No backups, no accidents. The backup camera is only good if you have a backup camera. If you don't have a backup camera, then that's no good for you. And the other, let's see what else. Yeah, last spot is where you want to go, like where you were last spot. That's the point where you were at. And where I've been is the list of places you've been. And economic route is where you need to go with least amount of fuel. The route that you need to go, least amount of fuel. For if you choose the economic route, it will ask you for your vehicle description, what kind of gas it takes and whatnot. And let's start navigating now. To go somewhere, you click where to, and then if you want to go home, you click home. If you want to enter an address, before you punch in an address, make sure the bar on the upper right corner shows the correct city and state. So this is right now in Burnsville, Minnesota. Okay, so I'm not there. I'm in California. So I have to click here and scroll down a different city, and I'm going to put San Diego. That's where I'm at, San Diego. Okay, so San Diego. San Diego. Now we have to choose which San Diego. There's a San Diego in Texas, there's a San Diego in California, and there's a San Diego in Netherlands, which is, there's another San Diego. Let's see, there are a whole bunch of San Diegos. Wow, I didn't know there's so many San Diegos. Okay, so I'm gonna choose San Diego, California. And then in San Diego, California, now I can punch an address and go punch in the house number and wherever I want to go to. If you want to go to points of interest, like a restaurant, click restaurants. It will calculate the nearest restaurant close to you. You could go by category if you want fast food, fish and seafood, donut, whatnot, Starbucks. If you don't see it in the list, you can type it. For example, I want to type let's say Jack in the Box. Let's search. You don't have to type all the word. Just Jack alone would have been enough. Okay, so here we have a Jack in the Box. Here's another Jack in the Box. You just pick the one that's closest to you, and it will navigate you there, and it will tell you this is like 0.7 kilometers to the east. This is 1.1 kilometer to northwest, whatnot. So, oh, by the way, I chose kilometers because we will be traveling to Europe. We need it to be in kilometer. Okay, so that's that. And gas station, same thing. Just click on gas station. It tell you where is the nearest gas station, and it gives you an idea, how far each one is. And if you want to go to a different country, for example, if I want to enter an address for Germany, then I have to click here and go to a different city. Now in different city, let's say I'm going to Frankfurt, Germany. I'm going to put Frankfurt. Actually, no, just put Frankfurt. It will tell you Germany. Okay, this is the Frankfurt International Airport. That's 7,000 miles away. So obviously it's not going to give me route preference, route calculation from here, because there is no road leading to Germany from United States. There is no bridge halfway around the world. So it will not give me calculation. That's why this is just for teaching purposes. I cannot punch in a German address here. Okay, so these are the safe places where you have saved, and these are the recent places you have been to, and these are by category, like we said, like restaurants, shopping, everyday life, gas stations, bank, ATM, parking lot, rest area, and all those things. You could go by category. Now, if you mess up any of these and you want to restore it to default, then you go here and remove shortcut or restore the default, set home locations and whatnot. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about hands-free controlling this. Okay, so I don't need to put my hands. All I have to do is say voice command. Voice command. The speaker is not listening very well. Voice command. I think the voice command is off on this one. Let's see. Yeah, this one probably doesn't have a voice command feature, because I don't see it here. Yeah, but some of them have voice command where you talk and it will tell you. Let's see, settings. Oh, by the way, the mixer will tell you the navigation volume versus like other volumes. So this is mute, and this is like the navigation, how much you want versus like playing music and all that. So that's an important thing to have. Okay, so basically that covers everything. Let me explain the voice command on this one, because this one does have a voice command. Just a second. Okay, so I'm gonna plug this in here and watch me as I switch these. This is not a part of the Garmin. This is a little mic I put in the back so it can capture the sound. So here we have, this one is equipped with voice command. That's the reason I'm putting this in. Okay, voice command.
Say a command.
Down. Volume. Volume.
Volume is at 70%.
60.
Volume is at 60%.
50.
Volume is at 50%.
There you go. So that's how exit. Brightness. Voice command. Voice command.
Say a command.
Brightness.
Brightness is at 80%.
50.
Brightness is at 50%.
Exit. Okay, so the ones that do have voice command, you go to app, and this is where you change the voice command. Like the phrase which will activate it, you could change it, customize the phrase, and say something else instead of voice command. So that's how that works. Okay. Alright, so I think that covers everything. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something from it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.